We got Brad Katona here on the program. Of course, he's coming off a big win. Last week on The Ultimate Fighter, he got that win over Kyler Phillips on season 27 of The Ultimate Fighter. Brad, what's going on, man? How are you?
And not much is going on now. There was a lot of excitement right after the episode, and it's starting to die down a little bit. It's just, it's been a crazy week. I got a lot of fan support coming off of that win, and it's just, it's really special. I've never had people reaching out from all over the world, Finland, Kyrgyzstan, everywhere, and to me, it blows my mind. Like, growing up in Winnipeg, I'd never think that I'd be talking to people from all over the world just after one fight.
Yeah, and how was it? I saw you were on Tough Talk right after the episode. Like, how was that? Because we've been doing interviews for a while, but you're on Fox now. Like, it's kind of cool to see you, get this much exposure.
Thank you. It was really cool. I think the two kind of holy crap moments where you're talking to, well, Michael Bisping, even just before the show, just talking a little bit, and then Matt Serra on the UFC's podcast, and to me, that's just, those are two guys which I watched those Ultimate Fighters. You know what I mean? Like, I never thought of it that way. They were both on the Ultimate Fighter. Both won actually. And it just blows my mind that it seems like it's happening really, really fast now, and I'm just excited moving forward.
And we'll talk about the fight in a sec, but first off, how nice is it to finally be able to talk a little bit about the show? We know you're with Team Cormier. Like, I know that must have been so difficult, not being able to say anything, waiting until your fight aired, like, because you knew you won, but you couldn't say anything. Like, how nice is that now?
It's really nice just to have that freedom to talk about it, because I was really happy with my performance in the fight. Just my mental state going in, it was, well, for lack of a better word, it was like being in the Matrix. Everything was slow motion, and just as soon as he threw the first jab, I was like, I got him. It just, the way time just, my mind was in the right zone. It just dilated down, and it was just, I felt really happy with that. There's a lot of stuff to fix technically, absolutely, but I felt like I fought to the best of my abilities that day, and that's what it's all about.
And how cool was it, I guess, watching back now, seeing Daniel Cormier talk about how, easy you are to coach, how you follow direction, hearing him compliment you. We're talking about one of the best MMA fighters of all time, talking about you. Like, was that kind of neat to see that watching back?
Yeah, it's stuff that I didn't hear in the gym. You know what I mean? Now that I'm seeing it, it's like he didn't need to say really much. They could cut it anyway they want to make it seem like he's speaking highly of me, but it seemed genuine, and just how I was treated on the team. I was treated quite well. Everybody really was, and it's special seeing that. And really, he's saying I'm very coachable. I just say yes, and I'll do what you say. I'm not going to stand there and argue with a current world champion than a former world champion in Cain Velasquez. They tell you to do something, there's probably good reason why.
Yeah. And do you like the way you've been portrayed? They're kind of playing up the Clark Kent thing. I think it's pretty cool personally, where you're really standing out. I think if people think of the show, they think of you as the Clark Kent guy. I think they've done a good job portraying you.
The thing that made me really happy about how they portrayed me was it's kind of just me. We've been doing interviews for a long time, and that kind of just I feel at least that's how I feel that I am. Just what they how they cut the promos and everything. It really, it makes my job easy, because I don't need to put on some fake character and walk out to an interview. To me, it's just me on a good day, wake up well rested, have a cup of coffee in me, and then there I am. And that's how easy it is to get into the new Clark Kent character, whatever, so it's really just me, and that's what I'm happy about, because it's not something, one thing going into that show was I just wanted to be myself, and hopefully people would enjoy what I have to say, and if they don't, then they don't. I could always go back and change it, but I'm really happy that it took on quite well.
What did Katie think about being featured on the show? Because they had that one little clip of you guys celebrating your birthday. Is she used to that, seeing herself on TV and everything?
I think she thought it was pretty special, and well, there was some tears, definitely. It's I think she really enjoyed it, and it's kind of cool looking back on stuff we shot. That was going into her fourth professional fight with Andy Wynn. So she was leading up to that, and so we were shooting, and then there was a couple points there which she doesn't know that I shot, because she was off either back home preparing for the fight a week before, or in the States already getting ready to compete. So it's kind of cool looking at everything we filmed, because you're given for people who don't know, you're given a camcorder and you record your daily life, and so that's kind of what we did, and shot some stuff, and really all we do is kind of explore the city and just make the most of being in a new country.
And I know you can't still talk about a lot of stuff on the show, but I'm imagining you're still keeping in touch with Cormier. Like you must have been so happy to get him as a coach. Nothing against Stipe, but Cormier, it's a package deal where you get Cain Velasquez, you get Javier Mendez, you get all those other coaches. I imagine that's been nice to just have that contact if you ever want to go down there and train. I'm sure Daniel talked very favorably about you, so I imagine that door's open going forward.
Yeah, they definitely put an offer out saying, well, I'm welcome anytime, and with the invitation, and that's really nice of them. Why I wanted to be on Daniel Cormier's team was precisely the fact that he brought in all the AKA coaches, and that's a world-class camp. It's Stipe's team. Unfortunately, his coaches couldn't make it, so he kind of brought together a team of, well, elite fighters, to say the least. But there is a difference between learning from great coaches and great fighters. Some great fighters can be great coaches, but doesn't necessarily transfer over all the time. I'm sure Stipe's team was in good hands, but just going into there with my style as well, being with the AKA guys was definitely nice.
I mentioned the Clark Kent thing, that they're really sort of playing that up. Is there any thoughts after your career's over? I know you have such a young career so far, but of going into pro wrestling, because you already got that character basically. You'd be sort of the perfect mold of a baby face, like a superhero. I mean, you're even wearing a Flash shirt here today if people can't see it. So obviously it's sort of embedded in your character already.
I never thought of professional wrestling. We'll see how this MMA thing goes. Right now, that's what my mind's at, but yeah, that's kind of funny. Like I said, the best part about it is it's just me, So it makes, like I said, it makes my job easy. It doesn't take any energy. I don't need to put it on any special act. I just go into an interview with a coffee in me and excited like I normally am.
Yeah. Did you ever watch professional wrestling growing up at all?
No, I didn't. Yeah, I really didn't watch much of it, and then as soon as I started watching MMA, there was no way I could look into wrestling after that, So unfortunately, I didn't grow up with it. Well, fortunately, I don't know.
Yeah, no. It's everyone's cup of tea. It's just interesting though, because we're seeing that crossover. Brock Lesnar comes over to UFC. We got Ronda Rousey going to the WWE.
Exactly.
So there is sort of that crossover now. It's just interesting.
Yeah, there is, and I think with MMA is sports, but it is also entertainment. Like, you need to be able to be a character, and that's what people are finding out. But I think generally it's most successful when someone is genuinely themselves. Connor played up maybe just 1%, but you're drawn to it. Meanwhile, if someone tries being something they're not, and it comes off really not authentic, and it doesn't really get the same positive reaction. So with Ronda going into wrestling, I'm sure she just plays up her character a little bit more. From what I've seen, that's all she's doing. She's doing similar to what she did in MMA, and I think she's being successful though.
Yeah, no, I agree. Last question for you here. What's the support been like back home in Winnipeg? Like I said, the Jets are in the playoffs. Last time we talked, obviously they just won again last night. Everyone seems to be really into the sports scene. I imagine you're getting a lot of support right now.
Yeah, people from my home gym, the Winnipeg Academy of Mixed Martial Arts, they had a viewing party for my fight, which was really, really special to see. The support from them has been amazing over my career, and even moving forward, it's there, and it was just, it's kind of makes you sad that I missed it, but also it's just amazing to me. It's just, I thought about a lot what I could achieve in the sport, but not necessarily what comes with a little bit of success, because really all I did was win one fight on the show, and there's all this support brewing, and it's just been amazing.
Well, it's awesome. The season's been great, Brad. And again, thanks again for the time today. I really appreciate it. Just remind people where they can find you on social media, and if you got any sponsors or shout outs, man, the floor is yours.
First off, thanks for having me on, James. You've been there since, which fight was it?
Prestige FC. That's, I think, the first one. Yeah.
Yeah. So it's been since the first, well, my second or third fight, I believe. So thanks for being there since the beginning. But yeah, and anybody can find me on social media at Brad Katona. That's pretty well everything. That's my Twitter handle, Instagram, Facebook, and then reach out if you have any questions or anything. I've had a lot of people reaching out. I'm trying to get to all of them, and to me, it's just so exciting from hearing from everybody, and just thank you for the support.